Hi, I'm Marianne Leffel. I'm with the Monterey Peninsula Airport District. I want to welcome you to YourTown. This show should be pretty interesting. We're going to talk about some really interesting things going on. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't. But what I would ask you to do is if you learn something new here, share it with others. We always want to benefit our audience. So my first guest of the day today is Cameron Langner. Cameron, welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
So you are with the Procurement Technical Assistance Center of Monterey Bay.
Yes, that's correct.
And you are a senior counselor?
I am.
So your background, I believe, was with state and municipal governments?
Started my career with the Department of the Navy back in D.C., 1980. Yes, I'm that old. And several years with the Department of the Navy, and then on to aerospace for a brief stint, and then back in municipal government for almost 25 years. So primarily government.
That's kind of a full circle, isn't it?
It is a good broad spectrum of public procurement and contracting, and from federal down to local.
So I want to talk just briefly about the success of the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And a lot of people don't realize it was Congressman Farr who really pushed the Monterey County Business Council into that and said, hey, it's time to do it, and let's see what we can do. But the success really, you and I talked earlier about the return on investment.
Yes.
It's huge.
Absolutely. Our budget is approximately, round numbers, about $300,000 a year or less. And last fiscal year alone, ending just August 31st, within the County of Monterey alone, our clients received $92.5 million in government contracts, representing 130 awards. That's staggering.
That really is. So just to kind of put it in perspective, there are small ones and there are large ones. And a long time ago, I think the smallest one we had was like $280. And then I think the biggest one is like 33 or 35 million.
The wide spectrum. Even a low dollar award represents a win. And certainly we're trying to get our clients to not only get in the marketplace, but be successful, and many are.
And for a mom and pop business or a small company, an award of $5,000 or $10,000 is sometimes, do they pay the rent or not?
Absolutely. And if it covers your overhead, covers your payroll. What we also learned too, Marianne, this is very important, is the learning curve in government contracting is very steep. But for those clients who have gotten that one or two awards under their belt, moving forward, it becomes not necessarily easier, but they learn the ropes, understand what to do, expectations, particularly in terms of getting paid, managing a payroll, what have you. So again, it's a very steep learning curve, but those clients who are tenacious and focused and network extensively and make the effort often succeed.
So I know that your expertise, I'm going to say, is municipal or districts.
Primarily local government. Again, I spent most of my career in local government managing a contracting operation for public utility.
So if I'm a local agency or a local government, do I phone you? Do I on the website first?
We encourage local agencies, that runs the gamut from counties, cities, special districts such as public utilities, to not only engage but team with the PTAC. It's a natural win-win. We have a huge roster of clients running the gamut from general contractors, professional services, products and services, all of which are needed at one time or the other by agencies. Agencies are often looking for small businesses, particularly if they have robust small business programs, or more importantly, I think, programs which are tailored to or focused on local business preference, disabled veterans, women-owned businesses, what have you. And again, we have a client which fits every billet.
So if I'm, well, I'm going to use the airport as a good example,
Okay.
because that's probably a really good example. The airport had a $52 million runway safety project, and the very first project on it was tree removal. And the PTAC, the airport registered with the PTAC put it out, and instead of 3 or 4 local tree removal contractors, we ended up with 7 in the room to bid. And the contract ended up, that particular segment of the contract saved about 30% on that segment, just because everyone had to sharpen their pencils because they weren't sure who all was in the room.
Isn't competition great?
It is. And I think as a taxpayer, that gives me like a really good feeling because it makes me know that the government agency, whoever they are, is actually working to reduce the cost on projects, which means that there's more money to go around for other projects.
And what I think is equally important here is a robust contracting operation, whether it's a city, a county, what have you, when they're reaching out to the small business community. The vendor database needs to be fluid and it's always going to change. And to your point on this tree removal project for the airport, if you have incumbent contractors who are always bidding against each other and new competition is introduced, yeah, they're going to sharpen the pencil. But you'll also find over a period of time, often, depending on what the requirement is those who have benefited and enjoyed the business, albeit for perhaps a price higher than it should be, will lose business because competition through the introduction of new clients from PTACs often affords them new opportunities.
Well, you know, I think another thing, and there are so many baby boomers right now who are entering retirement age. They're getting ready to close down companies or they're going to pass them on. And they may know how to access a particular government agency that they've had a good relationship with, but the person who's either buying or inheriting or taking over that business may not have a clue how to do that. They may be the best tree remover in the world, but they may not know how to do the paperwork and to navigate. And I think that's something that your office does really well.
Yes, we do, and thank you for that. We're staffed by individuals like myself. My background is a civilian contracting officer. Two of my colleagues are retired military supply corps officers. Another colleague has extensive background in contracting and procurement. So we really bring to the table the government side of federal, state, and local acquisitions. We understand government speak. We can be your representative to push forward and help you navigate the process because it can be overwhelming, particularly at the federal level.
And one of the things that I noticed was, so it has to be clear, this is really clear, they will not write your contract requests for you.
That's correct. Okay.
That is absolutely a no-no. Okay. I know we've had people that have come in the past who just like, okay, do this, and it's like, no, it's not what we do.
And what I'll add to that, though, in terms of a disclaimer, what we won't do and can't do is provide legal counsel. We're not your CPA. We're not your bookkeeper. We're your mentor, and we can help you in any number of ways, but we're not going to write the document for you. If, for example, you're responding to with a proposal for a comprehensive requirement, we will certainly dig in and, time permitting, critique that for you and really focus on any changes that need to be made. Bear in mind that when you're presenting, oftentimes clients have a tendency to offer too much and either not read the solicitation entirely or simply going on tangents. And it's important to note that the reviewer is focusing on a set of requirements and how that proposal or bid is responsive to those requirements. And everything else is largely superfluous.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I know that you have been able to successfully challenge some awards.
That's correct.
And have them reversed and then re-awarded to your clients.
Referring to, of course, are bid protests. And no one likes to see a bid protest, but we're all human, and periodically contracting and procurement officials and officers make errors or don't adhere to the specific requirements, or the solicitation document is defective in some form. So award decisions are erroneous or questionable and can be challenged, and that is the right of everyone responding. And we've been very effective. I can give you a batting average, but generally been very effective of responding and assisting clients with challenging those awards, and oftentimes either getting them reversed or having the requirement rebid.
So I want to tell people, and we're going to say it a couple times,
okay,
but how they can get in touch with the PTAC. Is the website the best way?
Our website, MontereyBayPTAC.com, is a good starting point. There is a link for new client sign-up. One of the inherent advantages of the PTAC, and this is not only the Monterey Bay PTAC, but throughout the country, is we're almost entirely government funded. In the case of the Monterey PTAC, primarily through the Department of Defense with support from the county and city of Salinas. That being said, is we're a nonprofit, and there's zero cost or charge for any service to clients, and that runs the gamut from online training to one-on-one counseling. Never a charge. But again, to your point, either through the website or simply give us a call.
Well, when we look at the growth of the Defense Department here, and it has grown in the last few years, it's added several new contractors in the area, and I think there's so much opportunity. But then I sit on a special district, and I see how many projects there are with special districts in the cities, and I don't often see them send it over to the PTAC. So I guess we have to give them a really good nudge on being, I'm going to say this, fiscally responsible, and send it to PTAC. It takes, what, one more email that you send out?
Good point. And let me just offer this. There is a natural relationship, a marriage or teaming opportunity between any PTAC, Monterey in this case, and local agencies. Whether it's a county, a special district, city, they have requirements that run the gamut from construction to professional services. We have clients that can fulfill those requirements. Small agencies especially are looking oftentimes for niche or clients which fulfill a particular need. It's a natural relationship. It's a win-win. And our challenge, of course, is to get local agencies to get on board, identify opportunities within the PTAC, send us those solicitations, make sure they can get posted, and simply increase competition.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense to
Absolutely.
me. It's almost like, why wouldn't you do it?
That's right.
And I think maybe people think it's too time-consuming, or it's one more step they don't have to take. But in the long run, if what it does is save a municipality or a district 10% or 20% off or more off of a contract, that's huge.
Absolutely. And bear in mind too, for the most part, with some exceptions, public sector procurement contracting has made some wholesale changes in the last 10, 15 years. And what I'm referring to, of course, is e-procurement solutions. And what I mean by that is the old tried and true pen and paper, U.S. mail, fax, what have you, posting solicitations, public notices in newspapers. For many agencies, large and small, has gone by the wayside. And what you have instead is the electronic transmission, posting, and receipt of bids and proposals. Much more efficient, much faster, always an audit trail, electronic footprint. And it makes it far easier for both the public sector personnel and the client and the contractor to respond. And so to your point is, it takes very little effort to make that phone call or send a link and provide information which can be simply pushed out in the market.
So if I'm a district and I want to register with the PTAC, I can go online and register.
Well, as a public,
as a potential bid opportunity?
You can let us know. The easiest solution is to let us know by way of a phone call, email. I have this requirement. Send us the link to your solicitation, and we in turn will push that out. We'll look at that and say, okay, it's general construction. We have this list of 100 or so general contractors who may be interested, and we can simply push that out as a direct marketing on your behalf.
Okay. So the PTAC is at 123 Capitol Street in Salinas,
yes,
correct?
Our new address.
Okay. And do the phone numbers stay the same?
They do.
Okay. So it's 216?
831-216-3000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's like press 1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3, 4,
5,
5,
whoever
yes.
you want to talk to.
That's right.
So what extension are you?
I am 3013.
Okay. So I think that's important that people understand how they can get direct access to someone.
Let me offer another example, if I may, about e-procurement and why it's so important. As a small business owner, and you're looking for opportunities, again, special districts or perhaps the county, you're going to spend a tremendous amount of time going online, looking up, perhaps even on a daily basis, new opportunities. going from point to point to point, website to website to website. You as a small business owner don't have time to do that. Okay? We offer a service called Bid Match, and let me explain how that works. Bid Match essentially takes a profile. So you as a small business owner, let's say general contractor, we create a profile using keywords and descriptive information and a very short, if you will, elevator pitch. This is Marianne Construction, this is what she does, and we create a profile. We give that to our third-party integrator who puts it in final form. What that does is becomes part of our bid match system. So let's say, for example, as requirements come up from the city and county of San Francisco or the county of Los Angeles or city of San Jose for general construction requirements which fit your profile. You'll get an email in real time with a link. That link will take you to that solicitation document. You open it, you read the synopsis or summary, and you're able to make an immediate go, no-go decision. Can I be competitive? Do I have the resources, financial, manpower, or staffing, rather, to be correct there, and otherwise to consider this. And by doing so, make an immediate go, no-go decision. So it's a very efficient delivery of solicitations to you. And again, as with the rest of our services, without charge or fee.
No, that makes perfectly good sense. And I know that there are companies that sell that bid match service.
They do.
And it's for a pretty good price. And so the fact that this is absolutely at no cost to the companies that sign up for it, because it's actually paid for by your tax dollars in some form or another, you've already paid for it. So why not use it?
Again, to your point, there are any number of firms out there, and I'm not judging whatsoever, but who are more than willing to afford small business owners, particularly those unfamiliar or unaccustomed with government contracting, federal, state, and local, to assist with registration processes, certification programs, just a gamut of subject matters, all for a fee, of course, and oftentimes those fees are rather healthy.
Yes.
Okay, or reoccurring. So my advice is let the buyer beware. And I would submit that there's virtually nothing they can do for you, which a PTAC, whether it's Monterey Bay or any other of the 5 PTACs in California, can't do for you without charge or fee.
That's great. So once again, the phone number is 216-3000.
That's correct.
And extension?
3013 for myself or...
Okay. And then the website is Monterey Bay PTAC?
MontereyPTAC.com.
MontereyPTAC.com.
Yes.
So that's really important. So Mr. Cameron Langner, we got an expert in the house. He's in Salinas. Please talk to him and see what you can do. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But don't complain to all of us that you can't get a government contract when you don't use the services available. So don't go away. We'll be right back.